Morning. Let me put this. Where should I put this? Up here? Or should I have it down here? Let's see. Oh, I can do that. Great. Cool. Good morning. Yeah, feeling okay today. Yeah. Well, it was a bit of a rough day yesterday. Like both of them. When I say them, I mean our kids. Oldest went just completely bananas. Had like this most weird day. Everything was completely wrong. It's really interesting to observe how the brain evolves. It's like one of our kids can wake up one day and they act completely differently. Like it's as if they're like been attached to the matrix during the night, and they just learn a ton of stuff over like through the night. It's crazy. But anyways, and sometimes that results in like really nice evolving, oh, this is becoming a human kind of behavior, and sometimes it just comes crashing down and everything's wrong. And it was one of those yesterday. And then the youngest one didn't go to sleep or like had really short naps, and that leads to me doing like a Zumba session to get him to bed. Like I for 1 hour, seriously, I like jump around and try to like, the thing is, you would think they need like to be calmed down, just lie in bed and like calm down. It's not like that at all. You have to hold them, you have to like move them around, and you have to distract them when they're getting too tired, because they're obsessing, like they can't like take it all. It's crazy. Yeah, so I was like insanely tired. It felt like I'd been at the gym for an hour after that. And then trying to plan the night, who's like, we're trying to share the responsibility, who's going to do what. And it's completely unpredictable. It's not like, okay, I feed him the first time, then you do it the second time, because the first time might be at 10 or it might be at 3 a.m. Like it's just impossible. So didn't get that much sleep last night, but I'm excited because I decided to... Oh, where did I put the app? Is it here? Here we go. I decided to... Let's put everything here. We're going to use Tailwind UI for this. I'm not going to spend any more time than necessary to build the UI, and then we'll get a nice UI. So, oh, nice. We actually need to... Ooh. Okay, so let's install this stuff. This is nice. And the really cool thing is that you can just copy paste. Like, I miss those days. Oh, what the hell? Oh, that's bad. Headless UI React. Miss those days where everything was like copy paste from what is it? Hero icons. From Stack Overflow. Those were the days. Hero. Oh yeah, React. Cool. So this is the model. I think, let's see, how does it look? I think we're just going to add it, and then we're going to identify. Then we're going to identify how we're going to do this. So we are going to make this its own component. Let's just copy the whole thing. Oh, and I can just do that. Awesome. Okay, so we built our own little authentication thing. Where are you? Here you are. But we really need to... how are we going to do this? How are we going to organize this? Because now we have this model. Should we just put it in here? I think we're going to try that first. So we have our... this is called the sign-in model. And this is not going to be controlled by this. We are going to control this from the outside. So we're going to say sign-in model, and it's just going to take open, and this is going to be passing from the outside, right? There we go. Pass in from the outside. So we don't need internal state for this. We don't even need this stuff. On close. Well, you're not supposed to be able to close this one. You have to sign in. So we're not going to have that. Okay. Let's do that. And let's fix this thing. Okay, so we have our dialog or our sign-in model. Let's just show it first. Let's see how it looks. So we're going to do so this is the question, like the sign-in model, because there's a transition here. So we always have to show the sign-in model. It's just a question of it being open or not. I think we're just going to do this, and we'll just have to make sure that we keep the sign-in model when we actually, let's see, authenticated. Verifying authentication. Like it always needs to be here. That's the thing. Let's just put it here always, but we say open is false. That has to do with like the transition, and this is going to actually look quite nice because it's going to fade in, I guess. False. There we go. Okay. So we have this. Where's our app? Oh, yarn dev. Yeah, it's really impressive. Like, oh yeah, hello Helder. I hope I pronounced that correctly. Yes, I haven't pushed anything yet. I can make sure that I push after every change. And this actually, like the React states architecture, it's actually on csb.dev, is CodeSandbox's like dev domain. It's actually running here now, and we have these reference implementations where we have the Excalibur Firebase project, which also uses the React states architecture. And we're also going to add this family scrum thing. Though I really hope this project to evolve into much more, but right now it's about exploring this architecture, really. But yeah, back to Tailwind UI, it's amazing, like what they've been able to do, build a company around it. Like I just paid like $125 or something to access these components, and it's worth it. It's so worth it. Yeah, and here we have it. And we're just going to say, instead of this check here, let's see if we can fix this first. Dialog overlay, where's the actual... okay. Check icon. Well, I wonder if there's like a Google icon. There's no Google icon. Okay, so lock open icon. Can we do that instead? OMG. I guess it should be not lock open, but lock closed icon. Oh my god, I'm loving this. This is how I want to build UIs. I don't want to think about anything. I just want to configure it. And the detail, like doing copy paste. Yeah, thanks for the feedback, Helder. Yeah, I'm glad that other people get, like personally, I would do this stream if nobody watched, because it's just a nice way to start the day and just talk about code and yeah, and for me it's practice. I'm training, because at Code Sandbox I do a lot of like architecture stuff, and it's important. And especially when you do architecture and you kind of want to align a team around how to build an application, you need to be able to talk about it. So it's kind of, for me, it's like rehearsing. Anyways, we had the lock icon, and it should probably be like red. Where did it go? Closed icon. And I can just say like red here, and then it becomes red. OMG. It even looks like the Google color. That's nice. And it says payment successful. This should say sign in required. Let's just add some text here. To access your family data, you have to sign in. Yeah, rubber ducking. Yeah, definitely. It's really interesting how, yeah, like talking to other people about code. I often say like doing PR reviews, like if someone reviews my code, it feels like I'm like naked and someone's reviewing my, like, well, I'm 37 now. I'm not very self-conscious about my body. But it feels like being 16 years old and you're being reviewed on, I don't know, puberty or something. I don't know. Like, it's horrible. It's very personal, writing code. But anyways, it's important to like get beyond that point of sharing your code. You have to, I don't know what I'm trying to say really. It's just important to think about code as, I don't know, I think sometimes as a developer you write code as a piece of art. So if you compare, okay, so sometimes you treat your code as a piece of art. It's like personal. You've been in the zone. It's your creation, and you feel that you've done some really cool, interesting choices, and maybe you've been novel, like you've done something new that people haven't seen before, which is like super smart. But at the end of the day, code is about giving instructions not only to the computer, but also make those instructions clear so that other people understand what you try to instruct the computer to do. And it's actually like, and that's why I'm so interested in code, like abstracting away from code. Like at some point, we're going to feel silly about sitting in these editors, having our terminals, our code editor, and our file explorer. It's such a low-level way of describing to a computer what you want to do and make other people understand what you try to tell the computer what to do. And it's hard to see that now, but it, like through history, it's been very difficult to see how what the future holds. So yeah, anyways, going way off here. Yes, we were writing about to access your family data, you have to sign in with Google. It's too bad it doesn't have the Google icon. Okay, sign in with Google. And maybe this should also be, let's see, Tailwind CSS. Is there like some customizing colors? Yeah, no, you only have those colors, but could those also be? Well, I don't want those to be red, right? Well, I guess we should choose a color. Because now it's using indigo. Let's see. Yeah, let's use green. Like you want to green. Wow, this is... Wow, I could never build this stuff. Okay, this is nice. Sign in with Google. Cool. So what we want to do now is, of course, we want to do an on-click. Let's just make this a pure UI component. On-click. Or yeah, on-click. And I guess what we could have done here with where's the thing, like on close, I guess that's like when you click outside, but you can't really do that here. So we'll just keep that open, and we'll actually make this... Oh yeah, this is interesting, because like if it's not open, like you shouldn't be able to click it, which is kind of, yeah, that's a little bit weird, right? That we pass that from the outside, but we kind of have to. But maybe we'll actually create this up here or something. I don't know. Yeah. So this is interesting. This also shows you how the matching API works. So what we're going to do instead, we're going to say sign in model, and we're going to create it up here instead. So we're going to say sign in model. It has an on click, which is going to send the sign in requested event to our feature. And then we're going to say open, and this is where we do the matching. So we match on auth. Let's just do this. And currently we're just going to return the sign in model. Let's see, like that. And this is going to be false. Sorry for making a mess of the code, but you'll see it when I'm done. So this is false. So now you see clearly like what states does it show and in what states does it not show. So maybe we can put these on top. We don't need the arrow here anymore. Bloop. Okay, prettier to the rescue. So this is nice. Like we're creating a sign-in model, and as I said, we want this to be shown in any state because it has this transition. But then it should only be open in certain states, and we can't be more explicit about that than what we're doing here. And with the React states architecture and these explicit states, if we were to remove one of these states or we were to add a state, we would have to, like, TypeScript would yell at us and say that, okay, you have to now think about this again. Like, should the sign-in model be shown in this new state? Or now you have to remove this other state because it's not valid anymore, stuff like that. Okay, so now we sign in with Google. So when I click that button now, it will like start... oh, maybe we should add the DevTools here. Yeah, this is interesting. Maybe we can fix this right away, because there's an issue with the DevTool. Well, not an issue with the DevTool, but the DevTool can only run in the browser, and we're using Next.js. And we only want the DevTools to run in the client. Next.js only client component. How to make code run only on client with Next.js. Yes and no. If the solution, because all I had to do was add suppress hydration warning. Oh. 2-pass rendering. Huh. Wow, this was worse than I thought. And also we can't actually load this component. Well, yeah, I guess this is okay. Okay, we're going to try this. Okay, let's try this. Let's see. Oh, yeah, we're going to try this. And now the question is, like, this needs to be part of the page container. So what we need to do, well, this isn't suppress hydration warning. This would be for, how would we do this? Oh, this is interesting. Because what I did now with React States is that the DevTools manager also loads the DevTool. Maybe they should just be part of React States. That we actually just check for process.browser. Okay, let's just add it now and see what happens. Okay, so when we're actually running a page, we're going to load up our DevTools. So let's do DevTool. Oh, did I say DevTools manager? I meant DevTools provider. I think this is it. No, I can't remember what it was. Import from React States. By the way, I find it so interesting that we completely... Oh, it is called DevTools Manager. Oh, sorry. No, it is DevTools. Sorry, I'm confused with stuff we're doing at Code Sandbox. So this is the DevTools provider, and this will load the... I think we're getting into issues now. Yeah, document is not defined. So what we're going to do now, we're going to fix this inside of React States first. Ah, shit, we're going to spend the rest of the time doing this. I do wonder if I should maybe develop a little bit on this app between the streams, because it's a lot of work we're going to do. Let's see, index. So we have the actual DevTools manager. So this is where it happens, right? You don't have document. So we want the DevTools, and here it is. So if process.browser, we do that, or we what is this? Okay, we'll just do null there. Let's see. I'm not sure if this is what Next.js is actually using, and if it's caching something. We'll see. So in theory, yeah, no, maybe it's here, it's grabbing it from. Like, you never know, use DevTools provider. Where are you, DevTools provider? There you are. Process.browser. Yeah, because in the evenings I'm too exhausted to work on open source, but like writing some code is relaxing. Yeah, exactly. Now we're getting the expected server HTML to contain the matching div. So what we should be able to do now is to suppress this message. The thing is, this is very specific, like process.browser. I don't know if this is universal. Like, do you have that for Webpack and all the other things? I don't know. But you could, like with Webpack, you can expose it. Yeah, so we'll just try to fix it here, and then we'll try it, and then let's see. Where did that article go? Did I? Oh, I'm here. Suppress hydration warning. Okay, so I wonder what this means. Does suppress hydration warning, is it specifically for the contents of this thing, which means that create element, suppress hydration warning true. So if we do this and we restart, it should not be there anymore. But I wonder if it goes through the whole thing. Like, does it, if I have a component here, does it suppress it all the way down? That's my worry. Which would be a problem. Yeah, expected server HTML to contain a matching div in div. Okay, so that didn't actually work. Oh wait, this should be, this shouldn't be here. This should be, where the hell should this be? Okay, I think we actually need to put a div around this. But we shouldn't this is difficult. Okay, maybe this shouldn't be done here. Maybe this should actually be done here. So we need to create like a function render is browser or render browser render server. So when we render the browser, this is what we want to return. Maybe I'm making this too complicated. So if process browser, this is what we want to render. And if not, this, we just don't want to render the DevTools provider. Because I don't think it's a problem that we have the DevTools. Like the DevTools are like super tiny. But now we should get the suppress thing. But now we should have more freedom to fix it. So what was it? The package inside, yeah, it's from npm. It's from npm. So it's just, it's using the next version of the tag next of React states. And I'm trying to record this presentation, which introduces that React states has gone from this educational concept to actually become React architecture. But I'm having a hard time getting through it and being happy with the result. But as soon as I get through it, I'm going to tweet about React states now officially has become a React architecture for predictable user experiences. It's being developed at Code Sandbox. This is what it is. These are like introducing the mental models and how the project is going to evolve. And then I'll actually publish the latest version officially. Yes, so the thing here, like now we can actually do this suppress thing, I think. So if we do, yeah, I wonder how this will be. So if we change this a little bit, we'll move this thing up here instead. Div, and then we'll remove this. I guess we'll remove that one as well. And then this is going to be like this. So now we have that. And now I think we can say suppress. Oops. Let's see, suppress hydration warning. Because we actually have this issue at Code Sandbox now. No, it's fun that it's interactive, Helder. And it's good practice for me to kind of get back into, oh, look at that, we fixed it. That's awesome. And now we have the DevTools here. Though it doesn't show anything, that's weird. What the hell? Why doesn't it show anything? Is it because did I do something to the manager, React, DevTools manager, and then children? This is weird. Don't I have React here? Oh, don't I have React? That's embarrassing. Why don't we have any DevTools there? Oh, do we? No. Why don't we have any DevTools there? We are mounting the feature, the auth feature, so that should be there. And we certainly have the DevTools because it's there. But oh, sorry. I'm not adding it as like we actually have to like use DevTools, and we have to add it. Sorry. Auth states. So we have the same thing here. Like if we are in the browser, we have to use DevTools. Cannot read history. Oh yeah, sorry, this is an actual bug in the DevTools. This is related to, oh, what is this related to? Maybe we can fix that right away, because yeah, this is a bug in the DevTools I haven't fixed. It's because it's trying to, what was it? Let's see, manager, last state entry index, states. Yeah, it's running on exec before. Ooh. That's weird. It's running on exec before we have the entry. Like we should have state first, shouldn't we? Like, or like when I actually use the DevTools, it should actually, let's see. Let's just fix this. Sorry that we are spending time with this, not building the app, but yeah, this is how you make sure that your projects work, is that you actually have to use them. Use DevTools. So I'm passing in the reducer thingy here, blah, blah, blah. So I'm using an effect. I'm saying manager.mount. I'm giving it the transitions. And I'm giving it state. So that's the weird thing. It seems like it's triggering, as you saw here, it looks like it's triggering the exec before it triggers state. Or before it runs mount. Because here you see, here we're mounting it. And we're adding the history here. So when exec runs, it should have been mounted on that ID. But for some reason, it looks like this mount actually happens after the exec, which doesn't make sense because we are... Okay, but we'll just have to check that. So console.log mounting and then I guess we can DevTools manager. Do I have the code for that here? No, we have to use DevTools. Is that a different file? No, sorry. Yeah, this is just sending a message. Oh my god. How are we going to check this? Where is the manager? Mounting, and let's log out the message. There we go. Okay, now we have the information we need to figure out what the hell's happening. Oh, my coffee is cold. That's what happens. Oh, wait, I think maybe I know what the problem is. Maybe. No, we're using DevTools provided. Sometimes it uses different versions. Like that's the tricky thing about building libraries. You have two different versions, and sometimes you import something from one version and then you import something from the other version. But I don't, why didn't it show? This is from, why didn't it show anything? Oh, wait a minute. Is it because... No, it shouldn't be that. Why didn't we see any logging here? Now, do I suddenly now have to use this version? I don't understand this. Use DevTools. I'm so looking forward to the day where we have only one version of the library. Like, it's just insane how difficult it is to publish a library with all the build steps, and especially how it's consumed. And there's always a new field in package.json for consumption. It's a complete mess. It's a complete mess. There we go. Okay, so I'm receiving the exec first. Why do I do that? How is that? Okay, so I think I know why. Actually, it's because in this case, we are mounting the dashboard. So we have the children here, and the children are using the auth feature. And then the child runs its use effect before before the use DevTools. So what I mean to say is that this thing here actually runs a use effect, but it doesn't actually. But because there's a nested component using the auth states, that use effect runs before this use effect runs. So it's kind of like use effects run. So if you have like nested components with use effect, it runs use effect when it kind of goes up again and evaluates the use effects. They run from their like nested and up the tree again, which means that our mount use effect won't run before the exec we're using it at a nested level. So we have to make sure that, so this is definitely a bug, where we have to make sure that, where is the freaking dev tool? So this is the problem. This actually needs to run immediately. And the way we can do that, we could use layout effect, but that doesn't seem right. We just want to run it immediately. So we can do Yeah, how would we do that? We could just run mount. That would be one way to do it. Because if we already have the ID, we're not going to mount it again. That's one way to deal with it. So we'll just say, we'll do this, and we don't need this thing. We don't need that. Oh, yeah, we can do even do this. So we just unmount. When it unmounts, we actually dispose of it, and then we just keep like mounting it. But the thing is, it will only run if the ID is not already in the manager. So if we go to the manager and we look at the mount, we can say if this states ID return. We're not going to mount it again. And that's perfectly fine. It's kind of like how hooks work, right? You always create the hook. On every single reconcile, you create the hook, but if it's already been created, it's kind of ignored. So if we do this, I think it should work. And it did. Looks like shit though. Oh, what the hell? Ah, what's happening here? Okay, so yeah, so we got the mount type exec. Yeah, I'm wondering, yeah, this is interesting because it should also have the state before it runs the exec. Ah, this is interesting. So the plot thickens. Like we should also run this immediately. Yeah, we could just use, it's really interesting. We could use like use state for this. That will with a callback that only runs once. We could use memo. That will also, yeah, maybe that's better. Okay, let's try that instead. So use React, use memo. Like we basically just want something to run once. So we'll run manager mount, and we'll run this one, and we still want to run this use effect. Oh my god, this is horrible. Yeah, I guess it doesn't matter. Like what happens now, it actually runs, the first time it runs this twice, but it kind of has to. It's the dev tool, it doesn't matter. Okay, so if we do this instead, this will only run once, which is good, and it runs immediately. That's what we want. I wonder what happened with the... Oh, I know what's happening here. We're loading this, oh, god damn it. We're loading this inside Tailwind, and Tailwind does a lot of... there we go. Oh, but now it... god damn it. Now it does this twice. God damn. How do I know if this is the first time? For fuck's sake. I don't want this to run the first time. Only because now we get 2 errors here. It's supposed to only be 1. how should we deal with this? We need the mount and the initial state. Oh, wait, I know what we can do. We will, on the mount, we're actually going to pass the initial state. Or like the context. Yeah, this is interesting. So we're going to, on manager mount ID context, let's do this. And then we're going to change our manager. So when we mount, where's the mount? When we mount, we actually get a context here. And we are going to say, let's see, let's do this, and we don't need this one anymore. But we're going to say transitions would be context debug transitions. And in our history, we're going to have a type of state and a context. Isn't that how the state is created? Let's see. Type state context. Oh, and exec state idle. Cool. This is what we're going to do. There we go. So now we kind of just mount it with its initial state immediately, and then other things can start populating that. Why didn't this work? Oh, sorry. No, this doesn't work. This is the same problem, of course. Basically, we want to ignore the first state message. So yeah. Okay, I think this was still an improvement, but we'll have to, if, let's see. If this states ID history, oh, this, oh, god damn it. How do we do this? We want to ignore the first one. We kind of need a state for this. This is insane. For fuck's sake. Like we can't really like check, is it the same state? We could kind of do that, but that you might actually create the same state again, so we can't check on that. Though we can check the context. Yes, I think we can check the context. So, yes, so this is interesting. So, if this states ID history, well, it will be 0 because we're like putting it on the top. If this context equals message.context, like if it's the actual same context, then we'll just return. Happens when component mounts. Okay, let's try that. So we basically just typically, like, it shouldn't be able to do this because we use the context to actually run the effect, like the as you can see here, use effect. You see that we have, if the ID changes, the manager changes, or the context changes, which is basically if the context changes, that's when we actually run a new state. But the first time, like, there's no reference here, so it will always run the first time. But we already have that context added when we mounted it. So now we just check if, there we go. Now we only have one. Cool. And it also shows that we ran an error side effect. Can't remember what that's about. Oh yeah, it's related to, yeah, what's that related to? We'll have to look at that. But if I sign in with Google now, we see that we have a sign in requested. So that's good, but it was actually ignored because we're in an error state, which is correct. Like we just wanted to show the model. So this is actually good. Okay, nice. Like the styling here looks like shit, but okay, maybe we should try to, yeah. I don't know. I'm going to I want someone at Code Sandbox to help with the styling of this thing. So I think we'll just keep it like this for now. But let's implement the change we actually made and release another next candidate. So this will be, well, it's a bug fix. So what did we do? In our use DevTools, we ran a use memo. It only runs once, and then we put the mounting there with the context. And here we did this, and we did this, and we did this. Oops. Cool. And then we add the context here on mount, and then inside the manager, we made sure that when we get a state here, if this state's ID history context equals message.context, we'll just return. And let's comment this happens on mount. Oh yeah, we have to check if it's an actual state history item, which it always is, but we haven't typed that. This happens on mount. Where we immediately add the current state, but also the updating use effect will also add the same state. Or let's write context. Know what? We're just going to, how do we do this? We actually have to. Oh. TypeScript isn't able to infer when we do these nested pointers. You have to create a variable. That's the only way it's going to understand that this variable is actually of type state. Okay, so then we return, and then when we mount, we want to bring in a context here. And we're going to say transition is context dot, what do we call it? Debug transitions. And that gives us an error. Let's ignore that. And then in the history, we're going to add, a type of state. We're going to add the context and exec. What do we call it? State is idle. Oh, are we missing something? Oh, okay. Do we add transitions there? States. Why do we add transitions? Oh, that's the message. But why do we have the transitions inside the history? History item, where are you? Here we are. Okay. 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 Why do we have? But then why do we have transitions here as well? Like we have them two different places. We have it inside on the history item, and we have it on the states data. That doesn't make sense to me. Why do we have that? Oh my god. Why do we have that? Because we don't pass that on the message, do we? There we only pass transitions. So here we... Yeah, I don't think it's supposed to be there on the actual history item. Let's try without it and see what happens. Cool. We have it. Everything's good here. Is everything good elsewhere? History, inspector, states item, transitions. Yeah, I think it's good. I think that was just some old typing. And it wasn't picked up because here we're spreading. Like spread is bad for... Well, it's not because we were spreading. It's because we're ignoring the whole assignment. I think... yeah, now it doesn't complain anymore. Ah, that's good. Yeah, cool. So transitions. Yeah, exactly. Because now it's transitions are updated on the ID itself. Yes. It's not updated in the history. That's what we want. Okay, so I think we fixed this now. I think. Git commit fix DevTools. Oh. For fuck's sake. Huh? What the hell happened here? I fucking hate Git. Oh, interactive rebase. How do I git rebase continue? Okay, now we should begin. Git push. Yeah, let me show the... Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about... let's see, I'm just going to build an npm publish tag next. Yeah, so the error here, it's because we were testing. We were testing in the page container. You see that I start the auth feature in an error state. And that was just to trigger the model. So that's why it starts in an error state. We can change this to... Let's see what happens when we remove this initial thing. Oh yeah, sorry. There's one last thing we have to do. We actually have to expose the environment. So let's do that before we stop. So if we're in yeah, so this is also interesting. Like this is going to render on the server. Yes, so let's just expose the environment for now. Environment provider. Let's see. This is also something we're exploring. So what we want here, we want oh, and it's supposed to be environment. So we need the auth, create auth from the sandbox, and we want to create the storage also coming from the sandbox. So now we have an environment. Oh, get first function not implemented. What the hell did I copy from? What did I'm throwing a new error. What? Where's this coming from? Get first date of current week. Oh, I guess we're going to use the utils for this now. Oh, I know. I did add missing function declaration instead of importing it from the utils. Sorry about that. Wow, it can be a little bit confusing sometimes. What was it? Get first day of current week. No, get current weekday ID. That's the thing I wanted, right? No, what did I want? I want to know, I need the ID of the get first date of current week. That's the one I want. Get first date of current week. That's the thing that didn't import. It's not exported from utils. No, it's not. Oh, I'm trying to remember this. I want get days of I want the ID. Didn't I have a utility for that? Oh. Get current weekday ID. Yeah, this was because I remember. We were a little bit more generic in the other implementation. Like you could choose which is the first day of the week. So what this does, it takes an index. So for us, it's the first day of the week is it 0? What's the first what's the first index? Is it 0 is Monday? Yeah, I believe it is. Let's see. Now you see, this is how it's actually going to work. It's verifying authentication, and then it was authenticated, and it's authenticated with this user. So this is how it's supposed to look, right? Cool. Okay, but I'll stop now. We got a ton of stuff done here. That's great. And we got stuck in the dev tools, but nice that we fixed the bug there. And now we also did, we saw how we're going to do this. I'll share this with my colleague who's building some stuff at Code Sandbox. And then next time we can continue with fixing the model. Yeah, maybe the sandbox shouldn't really, when you authenticate, I think we should give an error instead. Not authenticated. We do that instead. I don't like this experience, this hot reloading. It's not very good, is it? Yes, so I'm not authenticated. When I click sign in, we're authenticated. That's pretty cool. So this is what we wanted. This was a nice roundup. Cool. And if we refresh, we're back at having to sign in, and we sign in. That's a nice experience. Cool. Nice. I'll push this. Let's add React states next, so that we have the latest version, and then I can push this initial commit. Cool. Yeah, so next time we'll well, we actually got the sign-in model done now. So what we're going to do next time, we're going to explore, do they have like some skeleton stuff here in Tailwind UI? Layout, page examples, skeleton. Yeah, I don't know if they have any skeleton. Yeah, but we'll explore like the layout and yep. It's nice. It's like we can just copy paste stuff. Yes, so we'll put the skeleton in there and we'll actually start showing some data. Maybe we can also, in the sandbox, we can delay the data a little bit, the resolvement of the data, so you kind of see the skeleton operating. The same here with the auth. We can delay the authenticate a little bit to see how it actually feels like. Anyway, sorry, that's it for now. We'll talk more tomorrow. Yeah, excited about like finally getting to build the application, which is nice. Bye for now.